Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Dapper Rat, and today I'm going to try my best to reimagine Sombra. Now this video isn't necessarily a rework, it's more so in line with the Orisa video I did, where I want to put forth thought experiments to see where a character could go for the betterment of Overwatch. Basically that means I have ideas, I want to present them, and I don't know if they're good or bad. So let's begin. Sombra sucks, and like Orisa, I mean that as in her kit design sucks. But why does it suck? Stealth being tied to translocate makes it kinda unusable. Whenever I play Sombra and try the backline pressure playstyle that she is known for, I often am sitting waiting for my stealth to run out on its own so I can have my translocate back for my engagement, which is required because while Sombra can burst down opponents, she is essentially capped at killing one player, unlike say some psychotic junkrat sacrificing his life to wipe half the team. Virus and Opportunist makes bursting down players incredibly easy, which is not good for a character that can essentially give you a lover's embrace without you ever knowing. And finally, disabling abilities through hacking them takes zero effort and gives a ton of reward, so that has to be fixed or tweaked as well.
Holy shit.
So, starting off with the icky, damage bonus from Opportunist should be removed. I personally prefer a Sombra that walks the route of a disruptor rather than that of an assassin, and if you disagree with me, then strap in, you're not gonna like what I have to say. Stealth also needs to be separate from Translocator, as I feel like an iteration can exist where these two abilities can be used responsibly, especially within the same kit. Moving on to the nerfs, Hack will no longer disable abilities. It's quite silly how something that locks onto you removes the hero part of the hero shooter genre, but this can and will be implemented elsewhere. But with that being said, Hack will still retain the ability to mark players through walls and hack health packs and da. Virus should no longer have impact damage and only do damage over time. Once again, I don't like the burst down Sombra, I prefer a disruptor, which means giving the supports what is the shooter equivalent of an oxygen meter to upkeep, a marionette box to crank, or a timed dialogue option can be considered quite disruptive. On top of this, I think reducing the hitbox of Virus to make it more of a skill shot would probably be better for the game and make Sombra more mechanically fun. Now, as for buffs, Virus will now apply the hacked status effect, which means it'll disable abilities. Admittedly, this is not my idea. I got this from watching Spylo, but it really is just that good, and I see no real reason to resist a change like this. However, along with the reduced hitbox that I recommended, I feel like your abilities could be taken away for a little bit longer. Depending on the route we go, it very well could last significantly longer, like 2 to 3 seconds, but then is halved for tanks due to them being the only solo role, or even allowing all defensive options to block the hacked effect. For example, Matrix and Barriers stop Virus, that could be extended to say Doom's block. I understand that increased hack time is a dangerous suggestion, but due to the reduced burst damage, it might be okay. Also, I think the damage from impact, instead of getting rid of it altogether, should instead be transferred into damage over time. The main limitation I'm going to give myself is balancing any ability with the thought process that their cooldown is no more than 15 seconds, because I feel like any longer than that and your ability is strong enough to be considered an ultimate.
Behind you! Behind you! Behind you!
Starting with stealth, due to it no longer being tied to Translocator, needs to be touched on. I'm thinking either a long or infinite stealth, probably closer to about 15 seconds of stealth. This would restore it to a scouting ability to some degree. However, in this form, stealth would have a 10-second cooldown that begins once you leave it. The other option would be a meter with less time, giving Sombra about 5 seconds of stealth time to move between open areas undetected, but switch off once out of line of sight. As for Translocator, I am thinking of a combination of old and new, but with limitations. Currently, if you throw Translocator, you teleport to it. Pre-rework, you would place Translocator, then at any point teleport back to it. However, there is some other third option that allows both within reason. First things first, Just as it is now, I think tapping the ability button should let you throw and teleport to your translocator. Due to the previous changes to stealth, this could make translocator easier to follow up on due to Sombra using stealth to get the drop on players in the first place. That being said, the alternative is to hold the ability button. This will charge a delay up to 10 seconds, giving you plenty of time to throw your locator, get in position, engage a target, and teleport out. However, mistiming any part of this leaves you stranded. Now, if you find yourself in a position you need to touch point, or wish to replace your locator, you can repress the ability button before the timer is up to destroy your placed translocator and put it on cooldown manually. I'm a bit divided on what the cooldown should be, but I would not allow anything less than 5 seconds, with my gut telling me even that is a little too short. Last but not least, we have Hack. If you've been paying attention, you've probably realized that Hack has been left out to dry, taken the place of the middle child even, and in good faith, we must nurture it. I have 2 ideas, both could be implemented, but I feel that would be overkill. Idea 1 is quite ambitious. What if Hack was a metagame ability where instead of disabling abilities, it would now glitch out your HUD? With no knowledge of your current ability cooldowns, ultimate charge, and potentially health pool, Hack would be scary but plausible to play with. This could even be taken a step further and stop supports from being able to see a hacked teammate's health, with the exception of Zen and Mercy due to them being linked to the person they're healing. Very scary stuff, but in my opinion, interesting. Idea 2 comes from the Mirror Watch event. It never crossed my mind that realistically, there's nothing that stops Sombra from hacking her teammates, which means plenty of buffs could be applied through her hack. Cooldown reduction, fire rate increase, maybe healing increase. These are hackable type things that come to mind for me. Hack could potentially affect every character differently, like increasing Reinhardt's shield health and charge speed, or making Venture's drill speed, like burrowing underground faster. I mean, breaking away from idea 2 for a second and getting even further from reality, Hack in general is an incredibly forgiving ability for what it can and can't do, so simply making it disable abilities is silly to the point where now I think I want to change Virus as well. Why disable someone's ability when you can randomly change their sensitivity, button inputs, change enemy abilities to work for you? I mean, what if instead of Hack disabling Bob, it instead made him treat all players as potential targets? Same with Torbjorn turrets, Sim turrets, all of a sudden Ana heals enemies instead of damages them. I mean, with all the meta and in-game ways a hacker can be implemented, we could really look to give Sombra a super nuanced kit. I mean, I digress. I think Sombra can work. We, as a community and the devs included, need to be more accepting of outlandish ideas and be more brave to implement innovative design. After all, that would be more than a Blizzard level of polish. I've been the Dapper Rat, and as always, farewell, ladies and gents.